Time to bring this to an end! Home and time!
Greetings to everyone. This is a little tougher subject. You know, for 20 years we've been hearing about the up-and-coming Civil War, and you know, the difference between this Civil War and the one in the 1800s is this one is more about the money of our federal government. Back in the 1800s, the federal government didn't have much money, and of course they didn't have the safety net for those that didn't work, and also I don't think that there was near as much skimming going on, fraud going on as they have today. The federal government right now, there's a lot of going on. Back then it was maybe a little bit more about it was all about slavehood. Well, this Civil War is similar from the standpoint they want to make slaves out of you and me, the working person. They want us to give more of our pay, so those that want to skim it and those that wants to take it and not work at all can have it. To make it simple, this is about the money. You know, they want to protect their fraud network, and of course we've seen how bad the fraud network is. During the first Civil War, it's between a pretty simple line, north and south. We have lines. It's maybe a little different now, but it's more the red states that are following federal laws versus the blue sanctuary states that basically is just saying we'll pick and choose what laws we want to cover or enforce. This is a pretty big deal because, you know, the FBI used to go into town, or FBI or the federal government used to go into towns where sheriffs was not enforcing laws or enforcing ones they want to, and straighten it out. Well, of course we don't do that nowadays, or it's a little different. This is an insurrection. It's an insurrection of states. It's an insurrection of cities. This is a bigger deal than what we realize, but at the same time, it's not something that you can do, just like in the Civil War of the 1800s, to just go in and clean this out because of the vastness of it. We've got to win at the ballot boxes. You know, the worst thing about this is its control of the money. Now think about it. Our federal government gets annually between $4.5 and $5 trillion with a T dollars to manage multiple things in the government. Now imagine if some of these insurrectionists, these Democrats, we've seen what happened in the Biden administration, how bad things get, how much it hurts our economy to have someone like these Democrats run the government. After the Civil War to 1913, I don't know if you know this, but we only taxed, or 90% of our government was run off of liquor, beer, wine, and tobacco. It was a sin tax. Today they've made it a sin to make a living. Now those that are getting money from the government, of course they don't have a problem at all. They're just taking money for not having to work. That's another issue. We know that there's 4 hot spots of this Civil War right now. Minnesota, it's in the news every day. California, I think the fraud there is even larger than Minnesota. There are battles going on, but they're not broadcasting it as much because we haven't exposed the fraud like there is in Minnesota. Chicago, you've seen that the governor of that state and the mayor of that city talk a lot there. And of course, New York City, our new communist or socialist, socialist is just a nice word for communism, mayor there. They're hot spots, and we're gonna have to win it. We have to win it through the ballot box. But there's other things we can do. The other difficult problem, and I'm going to show you a meme here on this, is we have a very liberal media. 90% of the media or the news reports are very liberal. Even our conservative ones are not as conservative as I'd like to see. This meme shows you the negative reporting on ICE. Now these are police officers that are doing legal work to remove illegal aliens, and these are criminal illegal aliens. I know they're finding some other people, and these people are with the criminal immigrants that they're trying to arrest. And they find out that they should also be deported. But, the problem is all we hear is about the 1 or 2% of maybe questionable things. And usually when we find that 1 or 2%, it's usually not that questionable. 99, they don't report on the 99% of, man, they got this murderer out, they got this rapist out, they got this child molester out. All these wonderful things that ICE doing, you don't see because of this media. This is important. This next meme is showing you the organization of the propaganda of these major news networks. Now, why are they doing it? It's been going on for years and years, and I'm sure you've seen this or figured it out. But they're trying to protect their system. They don't want someone like me or some of the other podcasters to get the growth that will get this information out like we're trying to get out here. They want to continue to fill minds with mush, to fill it with propaganda and control what's going on in the world. Well, we got to do better. We first must recognize the problem before we can fix it. And it's, for the other side, it's much easier for them to fight this war if we don't even know we're in it. You look at the Islamic war to America, and of course, that was going on. 9/11 was, what we think was the start of it. But in reality, it was going on all the way back in Reagan's time. They had been trying to bring us down any way possible. And of course, what did we do? We just was not paying attention to them, not thinking that they're there. And of course, they get stronger and stronger and stronger until the time that they was able to take down our towers and have the 9/11 issues. Huge thing. And of course, we fought back, and we're, I think, winning. Trump's doing an excellent job. I've got friends that are Muslim. They don't believe like these radical Muslims do. That's an important thing. We have some other good news. I'm going to show a meme here for this. The media is not showing the things, the good news that's going on. Here's a meme about a Harvard Caps Harris poll done just last month, showing 80% of Americans approve of deporting criminal aliens. Now, think about this. Even on Fox News, I've heard Trump's poll numbers are going down because of ICE and because we're deporting people. Well, here is a poll that's showing just the opposite. But nobody wants to tell you about it. I do. But most people just want you to not think about it and think what they want you to think, the propaganda media. I personally think ICE is doing a great job in a very difficult situation in Minnesota. Excuse my cough there. Things get very tough there because of what they're trying to do to fight ICE. but we've got something going on good that's going to make a big difference right now. I'm showing you a meme to this. We're sending Tom the Hulk Holman there, and he's done a great job for decades. Even Obama gave him a recognition, a medal for this. I hope you like that little AI video that I posted at the start of this. Somebody else did it. I don't quite know who did it, but man, it's a good one. So anyway, I love AI videos. This next meme shows the two sides of the shooting in this last shooting in Minnesota. You can imagine what side I'm on here. This is a prime example. I think the other side loves it when someone gets killed, because they can go, oh, look how bad this is. Well, the person shouldn't have never been there, shouldn't have brought a gun there, and shouldn't have got involved. These people are doing lawful jobs. The last thing, and dangerous jobs. They're dealing with criminal, illegal aliens that are often have weapons. I mean, they've committed murder. They've committed all these bad things. And they're having to go in force, but they're having to have more force because of all these protesters, or so-called protesters. They're activists. They're insurrectionists trying to prevent the policemen or the ICE agents from actually doing their jobs. This is bad. And of course, I believe the two people that did get killed in these so-called protests, their blood is on the hands of Waltz, Fry, and any of the others that are pushing these protests and wanting people to get out and getting in the way. This is a serious thing. I wish that we had this more on TV, news, or whatever. We need to get this message out so a way they can get, people can understand. Now this next meme takes a whole different direction to this civil war we're dealing with. Someone sent this to me, and this is, I understand, in the Minnesota State House. You can read the plaque. It's to Tim Waltz, thanking him for allowing them to put up the satanic monument, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of explains that this is not just a fight between Republican, Democrat, good, evil. This is also a fight between Christians and non-Christians on a whole different level. Here's another meme that what I understand is somewhere in the Minnesota State House. We can't read the plaque, but we can sure see the symbol. And it just drives me nuts whenever we're seeing anyone turn to Satan, but actually promoting it. Our separations of church and state is not about we're anti-God. It's anti-one religion. They're again having satanic. This says a lot. This reminds me of something that Teddy Roosevelt said. The Republican Teddy Roosevelt said in the early 1900s. He said, not all Democrats are horse thieves, but all horse thieves are Democrat. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Democrats gear towards things like this way more often. I think the Democrats that we saw maybe 60, 70 years ago, maybe longer, would be turning in their graves seeing what these Democrats today, and the ones that, I know several of them that I just love, and I think they still think of it as a Kennedy Democrat Party. It's not. The working man, the hard-working man, is more likely to be a Republican nowadays than a Democrat. A Democrat is usually someone that's getting something from the government, either in welfare, rent assistance, or whatever, or someone extremely wealthy that is skimming something or getting contracts or making sure that no one else can compete against them in their business so their profits can be high. That's crazy. We've got to fix this, and you can imagine where I'm going, where we can fix it. You might ask, what can we do about this? Well, first we got to get this information out, and the way we get it out is, number one, like this. Number two, subscribe, because that's supposed to change the algorithm. That's a fancy word for what they want it to be. And subscribe. Subscribe does a lot to help this algorithm. But maybe most important is share this everywhere, because these platforms that we're on, they're very liberal platforms. They do not want conservatives to get information out for the same reasons we've been talking about before. If they can control their business models, they benefit. So share it everywhere. What else can we do? Well, I think the first thing we need to do is what we're told to do every time. We need to pray. We need to pray for our country, because you can see we're in a difficult time, and you can bet people during the first Civil War prayed a lot. It was such a difficult time. The second thing is we need to pray for our leaders. Of course, Donald Trump, but all leaders at all levels. We probably need to be praying for their leaders too, to come back to our side. I can't imagine that they was always so addicted to the dollar, so addicted to whatever the teachings of Satan is, or whatever they're doing here. The abortionists. There's nothing good about that. It just drives me nuts. Another thing, I think it's important that we have to get this turned around. And of course, by voting, we have to do it. And we have to have fair elections, and getting illegals out of the country so they will not vote the way the Democrats want them to be, because they're not citizens. They're illegal aliens. I've got some more solutions on that later. We'll make a podcast about that. But I want you to remember this, something that Reagan used to say. I believe if we lost America, the world would turn to darkness. Reagan would talk about America as the only beacon of light. Sure, there's some small countries that are great, but you got to be a superpower. You got to be a large power. You can see what's going on in Russia. You can see what's going on in China. You can see what's going on in the Muslim countries. Very dark. These people are not happy. Venezuela, for how many years has the standard of living just plummeted? You look even at Russia whenever they went full-blown communism. Their standard of living went to nothing. We've got to keep the free enterprise system. We've got to keep the systems we have that has benefit. Trump has done a wonderful job. Our standard of living went up during his first term, went down during Biden administration, and now it's on the way back up immensely. Now, look at the stock market. Look at the GDP. GDP makes all the difference in the world. That's growth. I'm going to close with another AI video that was made by Joel AI. I don't know this guy. But check him out. Check this out, and check out his Facebook page. He's done some really good work. I think that this was something that I said many times in Minnesota. Why didn't they take cattle prods to get these people out of the way? Why didn't they put electrified bumpers on their automobiles so people wouldn't be grabbing a hold? And why didn't they put warm water in cannons or in tanks and just squirt these people down and watch them freeze? It's all below freezing. That would get those protesters out in a heartbeat. Of course, other people had some better ideas, like manure cannons. That was something that some good farmers came up with. But anyway, I appreciate you coming by, watching the video. Please subscribe, please like, please share, and please keep coming back. I promise y'all have more sooner. Been a little under the weather. That's why I haven't been putting them. But we're going to start doing them faster and better. You have a good night. Thank you very much.